matter only involves clicking fancy pictures and the ability to write good content. But it's definitely more than that. Bloggers and influencers are an indispensable part of the digital world and, quite frankly, the most authentic form of advertising a brand. Back in 2010, people were still warming up to the idea of blogging. There were many questions about blogging being a full time profession. And in my opinion, it's a brave choice to make when the market is still getting up to an idea like that. But when you do what you love and follow your gut, there's no looking back from there. And that's pretty much how Miss Masoom Minawala from Miss Style Fiesta made a career in fashion blogging. From the fashion streets of Mumbai to the fashion streets of Europe, from thousands of followers to a million, from Miss Style Fiesta to brand Masoom Minawala, this journey is definitely enchanting, but something almost all of us have got inspired from. Although our very special guest today needs no introduction because her work is going places and her free spirited and fun personality is everything, it reflects in everything she says. With over a million followers on Instagram, Masoom is the undisputed queen of Indian fashion and luxury influencer ecosystem. One of the first to realize the potential of social media as a marketing avenue, Masoom pioneered when she set up her blog Miss Style Fiesta all the way back in 2010. In the years since, she's grown from strength to strength, and today Masoom works with some of the biggest fashion, luxury, and lifestyle brands in the world. Needless to say, her presence at the Cannes red carpet just few days back has once again proved how she effortlessly took Indian fashion yet again to the world. Well, I can go on and on about her, as for me, this is my fan moment. So without further ado, I would now like to welcome our super talented and dynamic chairperson, Ms. Monica Kothari Jain, to give her opening remarks. Over to you, Monica.
Thank you, Shraddha. Thanks a lot. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you and your family are doing well and you all are safe and sound. I, Monica Kothari Jain, welcome you all and would like to express my deepest gratitude to all the members for their ongoing support. It is well said that an abstract becomes a masterpiece only when opinionated by influencers. Masoom Minawala is an epitome of this statement. This ace fashion blogger leaves no stone unturned when it comes to channeling her inner creative. She enjoys dancing in her free time. She also jots down what she is thankful for every day in her journal. Very creative indeed. But there is more to learn from this young entrepreneur than just what's in style this season. Being yourself is essential in this field, and she aims to do so by creating work that expresses her own individualistic style. The work of a social media influencer is much wider than it seems on our mobile screens, and the complexity increases when it comes to fashion. They have to be constantly updated with changing trends while keeping the content relevant as the curve shifts from one to another. Among the most followed fashion influencers is Masoom Minawala Mehta. Today's speaker needs no introduction. She is beautiful, stunning, and gorgeous. She is an ideal fashionista influencer with so many awards and accolades in her bag. Masoom is not just a reputed influencer, but also a growing entrepreneur. Happiness is always reflected in her eyes like shining crystal. As the saying goes, chase your dreams, but always know the road that will lead you home. It's, it really fits her so perfectly. Very family oriented, Meenawala is convinced that the support of family and friends goes a long way. You have to think outside the box to make things happen when it seems impossibly difficult for anything to happen. She is the captain of her fate, the master of her soul, the boss of her dreams, the queen of her goals. It's our pleasure for all of us to have such a great personality among us. We all are keen to hear from you, Masoom, about your journey, knowledge, and success mantras. Thank you for taking out time for all of us from your busy schedule to share your thoughts with us. Once again, I welcome you on our virtual dice, Masoom. You're welcome, Masoom.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to chat with all of you, and thank you so much for such a lovely and warm introduction. Appreciate it.
So, Masum, we would like to hear about you, your success stories, and your success mantras.
Absolutely, absolutely. So do you want to I mean, between Monica and Shraddha, do you guys want to ask me questions, or would you just like me to speak? How would you want this to go?
We want to listen to you first.
Okay, okay, great.
All our members are really eager to listen to you.
Okay, great, great. So also what we can do
Please
is
share.
if anyone has any questions, specific questions, if you can just leave it in the chat box, that'll be great. And I can also along the way sort of form my talk and my answers as I'm speaking, so I can make sure that everything that I'm saying obviously contributes directly to here to you guys. So I hope you guys know where the chat box is. It's down, so you can just type everything that you need there. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking a little bit about my journey. I've been doing this for 10 years, creating content. I actually started creating content and I started blogging when Instagram wasn't even here. So I used to blog on a website. It was a very different sort of structure and ecosystem. And really at that point, there was barely anyone really doing it in India. The only blog that people knew about in India was Amitabh Bachchan's blog. He used to write blogs then. So it was really interesting, and I think what happened back then, and it continues to happen right now, is that this is such an unknown path, right? Like nobody, like people don't even know what blogging is. I for the first 5 years of my career, imagine if you're doing something and people would just be like, but what does this mean? But what do you mean by a blogger? What do you mean by a fashion blogger? Are you a model? People would always ask me, are you a model? And somewhere I would really dislike that, because I felt like I am putting so much work into creating something amazing, but nobody understands it. Will there ever be a day where people really understand what I do? Will they really understand the impact of what I do? Is it even going to be recognized as an industry? So I think that, today has changed so much. Even just the fact that I'm here to talk to all of you feels so good, because I feel like along with me, the industry has grown, and I've been able to make a difference in the fashion industry as a whole, and how fashion is sort of represented, right? Like all of us love it. We all love dressing up. I don't know what it is about women and fashion, but we all just love it. We love looking great. It gives us so much confidence. It gives us so much grace. And I think my whole life, I've only looked at magazines at people that I didn't feel look like me. I feel like more than even look like me, who lived like me. I think the way Indians live is so different from the rest of the world. And when we're looking at all these amazing brands that we all shop from, and we're seeing these gorgeous models like posing in Paris or posing in London, I think the relatability really lacks. So my idea with my blog was, I want to tell my fashion story, right, which is so similar to all your fashion stories, which is being so confused about what to wear to your cousin's wedding. Indian fashion has played such a big important role in all our lives, and it continues to play an important role, because I think just the time that we get married, our siblings get married, or for example, some kids get married. I think these events itself, we are making such huge fashion decisions, because these photos are going to be with you for the rest of your life. And I think just across the board, right, even on a daily basis, when you're dressing to work or we're dressing to run errands. And I think I wanted to add the story behind it, because for me, fashion has never been about a magazine photo shoot, right? Or about that beautiful, perfect shot. It's really about living and breathing in your clothes, like wearing something that I love today that makes me feel confident while I'm giving this talk. Like that's fashion to me. And of course, like just intertwining that with our culture and really who we are as people, because that reflects so much in our outfits. So I think that was my idea of having a fashion blog. And honestly, when I started off just as a hobby, because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so fascinating. And along the way, I've sort of, even today as I sit here, I really don't know what the next step is, because it's always been an unknown path. From the time I started, I didn't even know at that point that I saw that there would be Instagram, and Instagram would play such a big role in my business and my career. But now it does. It's pretty much my main platform. Today I'm here. I don't know what the next quarter is going to look like, right? Because the industry is so dynamic. It's ever changing, and it's something that kind of keeps flowing in and out. And I think the largest strength that not just me, but I think any entrepreneur needs, and I know there's so many entrepreneurs with us here today, and I think the one thing that trumps all the others is your ability to adapt. And I think that has been my strength through my journey. It's something that's really, really helped me, and help me kind of alter and adapt to this ever changing internet world. And everyone who has a business today, which I know a lot of you do, you know how reliable you are on the internet to grow your business, to sustain your business, to even just survive. That's even survival, you need the internet today. And as we grow, we realize how important social media and how important that role that social media is playing today. So it's amazing, and it's a really exciting job. I think a lot of you see a lot of I have seen a lot of my work on social media. So I'm actually going to look at the questions as well, so I can have a more targeted sort of response, because there's so much that I share about my life, and there's so much I've shared about my journey as well. So I don't want to kind of repeat stuff that has already been shared. um, so I'm going to take, hi everyone, thanks for writing in. So I'm going to take Payal's question, which is what kind of strategy on Instagram helps you reach maximum people, and how can we collaborate with you as a company? So I love collaborating. Of course, collaboration is the very epitome of my business. The best way to reach my team is via email. My email ID is on my Instagram bio, so it's super easy to reach out to them via that. Um, I think the kind of strategy today, because honestly, the strategy keeps changing in terms of how you can reach the most people on Instagram. It's an ever evolving strategy, right? What worked 3 months ago, unfortunately, doesn't work today. So you have to keep reinventing. So even if I give you an answer today, remember to reinvent this answer 3 months later, because it's going to be very different. But today, what works is being your most authentic and genuine self. I think Instagram has had an overload of filters and the perfect life and the perfect holidays. And I think people are just tired of seeing people present the best version of their lives on the internet. I think what everyone wants to see today is authenticity and genuineness. And you have to find out what your route is, right? Like if you're running a catering or a food business, how can you be authentic or genuine to grow your Instagram followers through your catering or food business? Can you maybe talk about the struggles that you face on a day-to-day basis? Can you maybe talk about what really goes on behind running a catering business? Can you talk about how COVID has impacted your business, and maybe how you're actually recovering? How are you fighting COVID, because it's impacted all of our businesses? So I think actually taking people behind the scenes into a path that people are not usually showing on Instagram is the best way to grow your reach right now. Um, how does a fashion brand identify the correct bloggers for their product and target market? So I think there's just lots of steps to answer this question, but I think the first thing you need to do is find, do a short list of what kind of content creators you like watching, right? Because how great someone else is a direct impact, is how are you reacting to their content. If you like it, it's highly probable that a large percentage of people like it, right? That's step number one. Step two is, once you have this sort of list, then see who matches your brand language. Don't let this person or this influencer define your brand language for you. You have to define your brand language. What does your company stand for? What does your business stand for? Define that and work with people who echo that thought, who echo that principle, right? I think that's very, very important. And third is, of course, look at the kind of target market that they're coming from. Do they live in a metropolitan city? Do they live in a smaller town? Where is your product already performing well? So you're obviously looking at analytics of your business, right? You know where most of your business is coming from. If it's coming from the city that you're in already, you have two options, right? One, you work with some sort of an influencer within that city to enhance your business. Two is you work with an influencer in another city, so you can actually expand your business and move to a different market altogether. So there's a couple of ways to look at it. But I think what really works really well is trial and error. Starting off with an influencer, maybe start off with a smaller association. And in all honesty, working with influencers and bloggers is expensive today, right? Like everyone's reach has really grown, everyone's followers have really grown, and everyone is commanding a price that could be very high for a startup. What I would recommend is maybe, you know, take up their package, a story package, insider information. But stories always do really, really, really well. And it's a great way to test out the market and see whether working with an influencer in a larger association will be fruitful, will be profitable or not. And it just kind of test out the market before I think diving in for a long-term association. And what you can probably do is, instead of working with one content creator, you pick the smallest association package that they have and you work with 2 to 3. So you can actually see who's performing well for your brand. Are you happy with the content? There is this sort of stigma in the industry where people think, and even influencers in general, there is no pedestal that the influencer has, right? Today, when you work with an influencer, your brand, it's a collaboration. It's literally two people who are working together and coming together. And that synergy needs to be there. It needs to be accepted and respected by both the parties. That nobody is, it is a client relationship, and anything that you want, right? Even if anyone that I'm working with, if they have something specific in mind, like we would prefer if you shot the content like this or like this, we're always happy to hear their thoughts. Being very honest, it's not necessary that I'll always do what they say, and we'll always tell them that we hear your thoughts, and now I'm going to tell you what I think is going to be the best for your business. But this conversation is very important, outlining what you think your brand needs, because you know your brand better than anyone else does. But then a content creator knows her content better than anyone else does. And I think the marriage of these two will give you the best combination, the best result. So I think to work with a content creator and influencer, these are some things that you can keep in mind.
Masoom, Monica ji has a couple of questions for you. So
Sure.
so let's just begin that conversation. Monica ji, over
Yes.
to you. Yeah.
Masoom, on the first place, we Indians are very proud of you. For all those who don't know, please meet and greet our own Masoom Meenawala Mehta, who has just represented India at the Cannes D Festival 2021. And well, you were looking fabulous on the red carpet, Masoom. You have engraved your name, and as per your Insta stories, I've enjoyed all microseconds too. How did this journey begin, and how are you feeling now after walking on that red carpet?
It feels amazing. It honestly feels really good. I'm very, very tired, to be really honest. But of course, my excitement is up there because I'm talking to all of you. And I love this part of my job. I love being able to share my journey and, sort of be able to answer questions. I love communicating with my community. So this is something that I'm excited for. But I'm very tired because I think on the internet you see a very glamorous side of it, but there is a huge part of it that is so exhausting and so tiring. You have extremely early mornings, you have extremely late nights, that there's so much sort of tension because I started my blog because I love to share what I was wearing, and now I'm at this place in life where everyone thinks that they have a comment about what I'm wearing, right? So there's like a huge difference from where I started and why I started to what I'm doing today. And I have to keep kind of telling myself that my blog, my platform is my vision. It's my content. I want to put out there. I don't want to create content because other people will like it. I want to create content because I believe in it. And it becomes so hard because as your followers grow and as your community grows, you become a public figure, and then everyone thinks that they are entitled to have an opinion, which they truly are, right? Because I'm putting my life out there, so I'm giving them the free hand to have an opinion on me. So, and I think for me, this is also a large sort of in my personal life, something that I am dealing with, right? Which is coming to terms with the fact that I'm a public figure. My family and my friends are so sort of at home, I'm not, I forget who sort of I am on the internet. And I think in these situations, I have to keep reminding myself that, you're a public figure. People are going to have opinions. People are not going to love everything you say. You cannot please everyone. These are some things that I have to consistently remind myself. And this process is actually very, very mentally draining. So I think apart from the physical exhaustion, I'm just mentally very tired coming back from Cannes, because there is so much that happens there, right? Like, there is just getting your outfit and deciding what you're wearing it is such an obstacle. It is such a task. It's, you are making so many decisions, and what they say, like, every time you're making a decision, it's very tiring, because you have to look at so many permutations, computations, and then make that decision. Then you find that dress, then you're getting ready. There's so many people that you're collaborating with, right? Like your makeup artist, your hair artist, your photographer. Is your outfit ironed and ready? Is your videographer there? Is your content ready? What about the brand that you're working with? What about the content that you have to deliver them, that you've promised to post at a certain time? What about the outfit that you're wearing? Even so, to everyone that we're working with, we have certain deliverables to them, right? If I'm working with a makeup artist, I need to post a story that tags her. That is the honest truth. But having in that moment, should I get ready for the carpet? Should I calm myself down? Should I sort of inhale, exhale, taking all the confidence I can? Or should I create content for the brand that I'm working with? Should I create content for the makeup artist? Should I post that story because everyone's so excited to see what I'm wearing? And if I post that story, the excitement goes up, the engagement goes up. So I think across the board, sorry, I don't want to tire you guys out with this.
Really exciting. It is really exciting, and we are getting goosebumps listening to you, actually.
Yeah. So it's just that there are so many decisions to be made at every minute. Like, even if it's, can I take a 10-minute nap before my beauty team arrives to get me ready, is a real decision that needs to be made. Like, can I give myself that or not? Because I'm awake since 5:30 a.m. because I need to post at India time, 9 a.m. because I'm not going to have time the rest of the day because I'll be busy with my red carpet. So there's so much that, like, has to be done. And I'll be honest, right? Like, if I was doing this, if I was doing something like this in India, I would have 6 people from my team with me. And in Cannes, I had one person with me who was playing also the part of 2 roles, who was playing the role of my photographer and my videographer and my assistant. So it gets, just also being without my team because of COVID was really, really difficult, and it gets very overwhelming. But it's a real fun experience, right? So the first time that I walked the red carpet, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just lost. I was like, oh my God. And I walked right behind Aishwarya Rai.
Oh, wow.
And Aishwarya Rai is, of course, like, she's, such an incredible celebrity. She has actually she's made a mark for Indians at Cannes. Every time I go, there's somebody who always talks about her because she was the first one to go, and she went with so much glory and so much confidence. And I walked right after her. But what happens with that is that because she's such a big celebrity, when you're walking the red carpet, all the photographers are extremely enthralled by her, of course. Like, she brings her personality is enigmatic, it's dynamic, and it's on the carpet, and you could feel that energy. And I was very lost. I didn't know what to do. So I was sort of walking through, and I was just trying to learn, because it was also, I didn't even know which way I was supposed to go. So I was quite and I didn't know anyone who had walked the red carpet before, so there wasn't really a question that I could have asked someone. And this is something that keeps happening in my journey as a content creator, influencers. I'm doing stuff that people have not done before, and it's so exciting, but it's an unknown path, and there's so much fear attached to it, because I don't know whether I'm doing it right or wrong, because I don't know what I'm doing at all. So I think this time when I walked the carpet, I loved it. Like, before like literally, so you get off the car, and there's just like a small crowd here, right? Because people don't have access easily to this area. And then over here, the red carpet starts, and then the stairs go up. So right before I went on the carpet, I told myself, I said, give your best smile, you've got this, you deserve this. and just be your best self on the carpet. And I walked. And how you do this is there's photographers on both sides of the red carpet, and it's like a throng of photographers, and then there's a carpet in the middle. So you walk first, and you turn to the left, and you pose, and then you stop posing, you walk ahead, and you turn to the right, and you pose, and you do that 3 times each, 3 times on the left, 3 times on the right. So each side of the photographers get shots of you. um, and it was amazing. Like I loved, I was, when I came out and I saw my photos, I was like, I'm really proud of myself, because I was so proud of my posture, because I finally had that confidence, which I really lacked the first time I did it. And I remember coming out the first time being like, I felt like I didn't do my best. But now when I look back, you have to kind of go through that first time to be good at it the second time. There's so many things that we do in life that nobody is going to teach us how to do. We kind of like just have to learn ourselves. Unless of course you're friends with like Ash and Deepika and stuff, and they might teach you. But unfortunately, I didn't have that kind of access, so they didn't tell me how to do it. And I think just the beauty of knowing that there's always going to be growth. There's always going to be a next time. There's always going to be a time that you can perform better and do better. I think just made me feel so happy and so fulfilled. So yeah, that was the Cannes experience.
Really great. So, Masoom, we just want to refresh your memories from that. So, we just want to present a few clippings from your Insta. My technical, please, can I have your help?
Sure.
You can take the girl out of India, but you can't take India out of the girl. Some dahi shakkar before any important event. Kala tika because hashtag Nazar. Always carrying food from home. Theplas, chakris, chakri sandwiches, you name it. Luggage has to be overweight now. Plane before a flight or plane just anywhere. And lastly, sitting cross-legged any chance there is.
So we saw this a story of Kala Tika, flaunting Indian culture, Indian tradition, and Indian belief. So do you stick to the old school rituals? And what's your perception of all Indian beliefs like Kala Tika, Nazar, can't step out if you sneeze and all? Are you?
Honestly, I'm such a hypocrite when it comes to this, because I strongly believe in Nazar, but then I'm like this social media influencer and public figure who like posts about her life all the time. So it's very contradictory. And I don't know where I stand with this, because I really do believe in Nazar. But I'm now believing, and I don't know whether there are any Nazar experts here, because I'm sure there must be. My mom believes she's a Nazar expert. My best friend believes she's a Nazar expert. But I believe that, I feel like I catch Nazar very easily. Also from personal circles. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't catch it so much through the internet, but I definitely did catch Nazar while I was at Cannes, because every time I do, I fall sick, and I fell sick just before walking the red carpet. And I posted my first Cannes look, and the first thing my mom did is like, she's like, "You've got such a bad Nazar," and she removed my Nazar. And she's sitting in India, by the way. So I don't know how that works, because she's removing my Nazar sitting there. So I feel like these are all sort of beliefs that I think I just, but it just makes everything so much more special, right? Like knowing that your parents are sitting back home and they're doing some sort of ritual that is going to make you feel better is just, I think just that love and that warmth comes through with that. I think more than anything else, I think it's just that. And honestly, when I came back as well, when I came back home, and this always happens. Like even the first time I came back, first time I did Canada, came back home, I'm so overwhelmed. And I just start crying, because there's just so much that has happened. There's so much that like goes on. So literally, like when my husband came to pick me up from the airport, and even when I met him, I was just like crying, like, and I have no reason to. Like even when I met my mother-in-law, I was crying, and she's like, "You know what? The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove your nazar," and I feel like it always makes me feel better. And I don't know actually what it is, whether it's nazar or what it is, or it's just that belief that your family, and there's a larger force and there's a larger power than you, that's going to protect you. I think that belief just kind of gets me through it. But yeah, I think my mom was very, very, my mom and my grandmom are very, even if I post something with my husband, my grandmom will call me from Bombay and she'll be like, "Kim Muikyutea," in Gujarati. She's like, I've told you not to post too much with him. Why did you post with him?
Yeah.
And I was like, how do I explain to you that this is my work and it's a part of my work? But yeah, she's they are quiet. But they've also grown so much, like really one thing I would give my family is hats off to them. I mean, you guys think about it, right? Like if your daughter or daughter-in-law, like sibling posts so much about their life, it does get overwhelming at times. So I think they also, I really, really appreciate them for being so respectful and so supportive, because it's not easy for them either.
So true. Really, you're a family-oriented person, Masum. You are a trendsetter and a fashion icon. You started your journey at the age of 18. How and what motivated you to begin such a venture at those odd times when none of brands knew what blogging and how bloggers help brands?
Honestly, I was doing an internship with French Connection and Calvin Klein, and I was working with their marketing team, and they're huge globally, right? And in India, they were trying to create their presence, and they told me to do some research on bloggers, and I didn't even know what bloggers were. I didn't even know what blogging meant, and I was so embarrassed because it was like my second year of my internship, and she was like, my boss was like, "You need to do a research on bloggers," and I was just pretending like I knew what she was talking about, and I went to my laptop and I googled like what is a blogger, and I think in the next like 30 minutes I pretty much had set my career for the rest of my life, because I was like amazed at what I saw like these girls that were like like me, right? Like us, like regular girls that you can relate to, and they're posting about their outfits and in detail talking about why they've chosen this outfit or where they're going. And I was just like, this is so cool. And these were all like Italians, Dutch, like Americans, like people from girls from all over the world. It was largely women dominated at that point. And I was like, you know what? I would love to do this. This is so cool. So I went back home and I started my blog literally that night. I didn't sleep all night. I said, I can just start it right now. I can just, post a photo and start my blog. I'd love to talk about fashion. And I think when I started off, I just started it off as something fun, because that's what blogs also used to be back then. And even for the first few years, it was just a fun outlet. It was an outlet for your, fashion stories and sartorial secrets. And um, so I didn't really have an intention. But the thing is, it blew up so quickly, again, because it was such a new and unknown path, that I started looking at, commercializing it and making it into a business. But at that time, and I remember one of the first emails I got on my blog was from Giorgio Armani fragrances. And I was like, oh my God, like this is the dream. Wow. And they said, we'd love to do something with your blog. And I said, okay, amazing. I'd love to do it. And they're like, we'll offer you perfume in return. And I said, done. Like, this is amazing. I can't believe I'm going to be working with such a big brand. And that was great, right? But what happened is for the next 1 to 2 years, more and more brands are reaching out, but they were only offering me products in return and no money. And I said, okay, where is this going to go? Because I've always been a very ambitious person. And, I've always had my goals professionally and financially have and always will be very large. And I was obviously thinking of the future and thinking of, how am I going to, if people only want to work on barters, how am I ever going to build a business out of this? But I had a really good following and I had really strong readership who would they were listening to anything I was saying. If I was saying this is trending, they were listening to the fact that it was trending. And I felt like I was building that community. At that time, the community on my blog was probably 10,000 people. But 10,000 people like that is probably like equivalent to 10 million today, or at least in my head it was. Um, and then, sorry. Um, so basically what I did is I said, I have to monetize this business because I'm not going to run a business without earning from it, right? That doesn't seem very successful to me. Like I have always, I'm not attracted to fame, and I've never been. So for me, this business has never been about the fame. I could never do this if I didn't see it as a real business with real profit, with a healthy balance sheet. That's the most important part for me. So even back then, having more followers or having been recognized by the press or being a celebrity was not my aim. So what I did is I decided to start an e-commerce brand, where I could easily sort of talk about my products that I wanted to sell on my blog. So I could convert these readers that I had into customers. So it was a very easy flow of driving business because I already had so many people sort of raptured into my content. And it did really well. The business was profitable within the first year. We moved across categories, started with clothes and moved to accessories, did bags also at a point, even raised a round of funding from investors. But I gave it a good solid, I think, 3 years. But through the whole time, I never stopped blogging. I was always blogging because it was my passion, right? And for me, it's very important to love what I do. But as I was building this business, I realized that there was so much in it that I actually didn't enjoy doing. The entire operations and logistics. Because for me also, I'm very ambitious. So anything I want to do, I want to be the best at. Anything that I set my mind to, I have to achieve. And anything I do, uh, I have to be the leader in what I do. And the purpose of me launching this e-commerce website was because I wanted to bring international fashion to India, because I felt like that access was not there. And then slowly after I launched my e-commerce, Zara came in, H&M came in, Amazon came in, Myntra came in. And I felt like, the business had really evolved. So 3 years later, I shut down that business and I moved to full-time blogging, and it was a very, very hard decision, because running that e-commerce business was, uh, it was my dream. It was my goal to make that into like $1 billion company. To have like a large office, to have like a massive team. That was my goal. And I felt like that goal didn't completely, was not in sync with what my personal mission was. I far more enjoyed building a community than building a business. And I actually moved to full-time blogging. It was a really hard decision, but I made it. Um, and then I think, so that was 4 years ago. And I think since then, I mean, business just immediately took off. Like the day I made that decision, my life just changed, right? Like, things just started flowing so much more easily. When you're in the right place and you're in the right moment, you're doing the right thing, because you get those kind of signs. Also because your mindset is in a sort of certain way that you also believe in yourself that much more. You believe in your idea, you believe in your vision so much more. You're not threatened by anything. So I totally forgot what the question was.
So I was asking, what motivated you in those odd
Yeah.
times?
Yeah. So and then I moved, and so sorry, I missed saying the most important part.
No,
I
it's
also
okay. Please carry on.
the reason. So of course, and I felt like I'd started that e-commerce business for all the wrong reasons. I started it because I didn't see enough money in blogging. That's why I started it. And the more I was working on it, I realized that money, it can't be the goal. Um, because you have to follow your passion, you have to follow your mission, you have to follow your impact. I started that business for literally all the wrong reasons, and probably that is the reason it didn't work out for me. When I went back to blogging, the industry had also grown, and I had played a big part in growing it because I had never stopped blogging. So I had already been blogging for about 5 to 6 years by then, and the industry was a lot more matured. I started working with brands. I was using all my learnings from my business, right? Because obviously, running that e-commerce business taught me so much about running a business. All the strategies, the sales, the marketing, the operations, and logistics. I applied all of those learnings into my blog, and it was extremely profitable within year one of me moving to it full time. So I think my motivations have changed and evolved. I think when I was younger, I felt like money was a motivation for me, until I reached a point where I realized that when you should your focus has to be creating impact. Your focus has to be making a difference, and the money and the success will just follow.
Thank you, Masu.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, Masoom, I've been following you on Instagram since such a long time. And as you talk, I can actually relate to each and everything you're saying because I just saw you, boarding and I saw that airport look. So I know how tired you are right now. So, and also, I'm totally in awe of the work that you're doing. And you're definitely an inspiration for, all we married women who are trying to strike a balance between our married life and our professional life. So, firstly, this absolutely is a fan moment for me talking to you. I'd like to ask you a question. You're a fashion diva and influencer. Many a times, you're the fashion glossary. This makes me and obviously all of us curious to know that how you, being a fashion blogger, maintain a thin line between your professional and personal life.
Um, so I think it's been a real obstacle for me, but it's something that I think I've finally figured out. For me, it used to get very confusing because I'm the brand, I'm the product, and I'm the CEO. So it's like, um, if let me think. So we have Taj Mahal tea, right? And we obviously have Tata who owns it. Now Tata could love being living an amazing life and being philanthropic or being luxurious. But the Taj Mahal tea packet is for the masses, right? Now, in this case, I'm Tata and I'm the Taj Mahal tea packet. And it gets so confusing because who am I? Who should I show up as? Who should I show up as today, right? Or who am I when I'm going out with my friends? Should I be taking content or should I be posting? Because my community loves that. They love seeing my personal life. So it's very confusing until I think sometime late last year I made the decision that I have to make a divide between the two. I have to maintain that on the internet I show up as my brand. As I can make that brand as personal as I want, but I show up as my brand. Every time I'm showing up for work. And in my personal life, while I'm living my personal life, the one thing I make sure is I never post live content. So I love taking photos and videos, right? Which is why I do this. For me, that's like passion and a hobby. So I'm happy to do that. I'll take a lot of photos and I'll take a lot of videos because I would do that even if I was an entrepreneur and ran a logistics company. I would still take a lot of photos and videos. So I continue to do that when I'm living my personal life, but I make sure I don't post in the moment because that I find very draining, right? Because when I'm posting, I need to show up as my brand. And if I'm at a dinner with my friends, I don't want to be my brand. I just want to be myself. I just want to have a good time. Um, so this is a very constant, ongoing battle to make a difference between the two. But it's something that I'm really working on. Like, for example, when my husband and I go for holidays, it gets so confusing because a lot of the holidays that we go for are sponsored. So, we're working with the hotels that we're going for. And these hotels are some incredible hotels, they're extremely luxurious hotels, extremely expensive hotels too. Now, we wouldn't really stay at these type of hotels if they were not sponsored. So I am in full gratitude to these travel agencies and these hotels who are offering us with a stay and an experience that is unparalleled, right? Because it's a real experience to go on a holiday, stay at this incredible 5-star, very expensive hotel and not have to pay for it. But that means nothing. I mean, we all know nothing is free in life. I'm not paying money for it, but I'm paying through my content. I have to create that content. And I think it's a decision that, for example, like this is a space where my personal professional life gets very mixed up. But that's a decision my husband and I have to take, and we do take together. That do we want this experience? But I'm going to have to work a little bit on the holiday. Or would we rather not have this experience and we go for an experience that we can afford with our money, right? It's a very difficult decision, but it's something that we make. So what we've tried and figured out to do is that we always do one trip that is I can completely switch off, and then for other trips we make full use of the fact that I've built this platform and I have access um, to some amazing companies, and we can actually work with them and create something. But even at that point, I'm very, very, very organized, and that's very helpful. So if I know when I need to create content, I know exactly when I need to create content, how I have to create that content. So you guys might not believe me, but I'm really quick at my photos and videos. Like I'm really, really, really quick. I think it also comes from the fear of I don't like to make other people uncomfortable to take too many photos and videos of me, because when you're in a public place, it does get uncomfortable, right? So, and I've just, because of that habit, I've just become really quick at it. I know exactly what I want. I'll set my frame. I'll be like, take 5 photos of me here, and I've got my content. I'm done. So I think obviously all these years have also really helped in that, right? Like knowing what I want and how to get it. But I hope that answered your question.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Masu, I just wanted to ask you, like, today you are successful and inspiration to all of us, in fact. And you were born in India and brought up in India. As all we know in India, acceptance is a big game changer. When you started and were the first as fashion blogger, how did the industry treat you, and how did the acceptance came? What was the journey and hardships that you faced? And this is really important.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. So I think when I started, by the way, there were like infinite people who really, really laughed and criticized what I was doing. And right now I'm sitting in a very privileged position that I can talk about it because now everyone wants to do it, right? But I think at that time it was just so annoying and hard because even I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know I would ever walk the red carpet at Cancel Festival. I didn't know I would be successful. I didn't, I really didn't know I would be able to build a business. So at that point, to not give up was so damn hard. Like it was just so, so, so hard. Even today, actually, what am I saying? I'm talking about that. Even today, if I get hate on social media, which does happen sometimes, it happened even while I was in Cannes. Somebody passed a comment here and there, somebody posted a random story, and there are so many times when I turn to my husband and I'm just like, I don't know whether I'm built for this life. Like I really do doubt myself because sometimes the pressure is just too much. And the internet now has become such a place where you can get cancelled. Like, they call it the cancel culture. You can get cancelled in a matter of seconds. Like I can be sitting with all of you here, like 160 of you here and speaking to you, but something can happen tomorrow and they will just cancel you off the internet with one wrong comment, and the pressure is just unimaginable. And I tell my husband that when these moments happen, I'm like, am I really cut out for this? Like am I really going to be able to do this? I really do doubt myself. So I don't think that doubt goes. But I think so. Yeah, with the industry, I think there was a lot of people that did not understand what was happening. And people have this thing, right? When they don't understand, they criticize it. They don't give it a chance. It's simple. You want to see the leaders of the world celebrate something and then you celebrate it. It's just human behavior. I'm like that as well. When I see someone doing something new and different, now I correct myself and I'll be like, no, this was me someday. If someone is trying, there are so many content creators out there, right? Like there are so many, like my friends will my friends or my team will say, oh my god, look at the content she's creating, it's so funny, or it's so stupid, or it's so crazy, or like, what the hell is she doing this on Instagram? I can bet my life that each one of you here have heard this. Each one of you here have heard this from someone or the other, that have you seen this girl's content? What the hell does she think she's doing on Instagram? Who does she think she is? all of those comments were said about me, and they are still said about me, So I think now when we hear it, if we can be the change, if we can be like, she's trying, she's trying to create something for herself. Clearly, she's doing the best she can, and that's the best that she knows. But we all grow. I think if we all just give everyone a chance, like I'm talking about content creators today, and content creation is a very successful industry. But even if it's somebody else who's starting some sort of a business and they're not good at it, or they're messing up big time, I think if we give them the chance, it would make such a huge difference. And especially for women in India, yeah, nobody gives us a chance. Like, let's be really honest. Like, anything we do, we are constantly, our efforts are minimized, we are criticized, we are looked down upon, we're not given a fair chance, and the only people that we have to support us is each other. So I think that's a difference that I am trying to make on it, not even work-wise, but just in my personal life, that if I see someone doing something really silly, I will still just give them the benefit of doubt, or I'll give them some encouragement, because you don't know, but you can actually change someone's day and life, right? It's like something you say and it can really, really encourage someone. And we need the women of our country to be more financially independent, to be more successful. We are way too reliant on our families and our husbands and our fathers, and it has to change. We have to pick ourselves up, and I think we can help each other in doing that. So even the fashion industry, going back to the question specifically, didn't really recognize bloggers for a long time, right? But now they do. And I think sort of what happens is, in a situation like this, sometimes people turn very bitter. Like, for me, it's very easy for me to be bitter today and say that these magazines didn't recognize me, or they didn't celebrate me or acknowledge me at all when I was starting off. Like, why should I work with them today? When or so many platforms, right? Today, when I create content for these platforms, I am the most watched video. I am the content that gives them the most traffic. And there was a time where they didn't acknowledge me, or they didn't look at my work, or they probably criticized my work. But I think what I also have to understand today is that in an industry, you grow together. Today, if I hold on to that bitterness of having been rejected in the beginning, I will not be able to grow to my maximum potential. You have to kind of let it go and move on, right? Because I think everyone's journey is different. And also, so many times people are just reacting because of something that's going on in their personal lives. Sometimes it's not personal, it's not about me, but they might have just sort of done something or said something that is something that just reflects what their day was going through.
So true. So you are the diva of Instagram. Youth follows you blindly and wants to step in your shoes when it comes to blogging. What shall be your advice to all those people? And we at Flow, our members, what and how would you like to motivate them to keep changing with the time and start using social media? So what will be your take on it?
You have to use social media for your business specifically. I think personally, I don't think it's that important. But if any of you run any sort of a business or work somewhere, social media is an absolute game changer, and it's the future. And the more in tune you get with it right now, the easier it'll be for you to adapt with the years to come, right? And I think it's fairly easy to see. If you guys like my work, spend some time to see what it is that you like in my work. Like, genuinely, like, do some sort of a deep dive into what is it that you like about my work, and see how you can use that and actually apply it to your own business.
That's so true. Yes. So true. We are really inspired with you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Shraddha.
You're so candid, and everything that you're saying is like everything that one can really relate to. And since you're so witty and chirpy, we decided to do a rapid fire round with you. And we have a couple of questions for you. Yeah. So Monica ji, are you ready?
Yes. Masum, are you ready with our rapid fire round?
Yes, I'm ready.
You're feeling good about
Yes,
it?
absolutely.
So all the best to you then.
You have a coffee with Karan hamper for me?
Yeah, we have it ready for you. Don't worry. We'll send it
Okay,
across.
done.
So here I shoot you with some fun questions for rapid fire.
Okay.
Which actress has the best fashion sense according to you?
Sonam
So,
Kapoor.
okay.
Oh, I was so fast.
Yeah, that is, you really want, now you will be getting this. If not a fashion blogger, then what would be the next choice?
Interior designer.
Wow, great. Any opportunity that you have missed on and do you yet regret it?
Um,
This is going slow.
yeah, sorry. No, but nothing. I genuinely, I'm a believer of everything is rigged in your favor, right? Like everything, if something doesn't work out, it has not worked out for a reason. And there's so much stuff that didn't work out in Cannes. There's so many things that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But I think everything, now when I'm sitting here, I realize that everything happens for a reason. So nothing.
So true. One morning, if you wake up with no Wi-Fi or no internet, what shall you be doing for the 24 hours?
I do that all the time. So once a year I delete Instagram from my phone. Okay, I have access to WhatsApp, but I delete Instagram from my phone, and I usually do this when I'm with my friends in some sort of a party place. So I'm just like having the best time with no internet and just like having a blast. But I'm actually, my husband is more addicted to his phone than I am. I'm on it for work because when I make this divide, I decided that I'm not going to use social media for personal purposes anymore. So this helps me make that divide stronger. So I only show up for work to Insta.
That's great. That's great. Okay, this or that. Okay, writing affirmations or meditation.
Writing affirmations.
Okay, croissant or pav bhaji for you.
Pav bhaji. I had pav bhaji for lunch today. What are the odds?
That's so good. So this was an apt question for you today. Mumbai or Belgium?
Mumbai.
Oh, no doubt you're an Indian blood. Then photo shoot or reels?
Reels.
Okay. So here's the last this or that. One thing we all ladies are eager to know, what would you prefer, saving or spending? What is more satisfying for you?
Saving for sure. Saving
Okay.
for sure.
That's so you win this Monica hamper, coffee hamper
Thank you. Thank you so
from
much.
Flow Jaipur chapter.
Thank
Thank
you so
you,
much.
Masu. Thanks a lot. You were
Thank you.
really good about it.
Absolutely, Masum. You were amazing, very candid, and very quick.
Yeah, that.
Especially with the first question you answered even before we could register that we've.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Nasum. It was simply amazing listening to you, and I'm sure our members were equally thrilled to listen to you as well. So we have a lot of questions here in the chat box. So if we could just take a couple of questions, Monica ji.
If Masum, you're comfortable, if you're
Yeah,
feeling
absolutely. Absolutely.
well. Okay.
Do you want me to do the questions?
Okay, we don't mind.
Yeah. Okay. So do you as a brand have different commercials for different level of brands? Yes, I do, but it's not level of brands, it's by category. So my commercials are different for a fashion brand, for a beauty brand, for a F&B brand, for a tech brand, which is like, mobiles and stuff like that. So solely because and the hierarchy goes in order of what I love the most. So because fashion is my category, it's something that I absolutely love. The commercials are the lowest, and then it kind of goes that way, right? Because it's my it's something that I love to create content. So do you understand why that happens? Like technology will be the most expensive because I'm actually presenting a product to my community, but you don't follow me for technology. So I will charge a lot of money to the brand to do that. So that's how we've kind of planned it. Looking for a question. Hiring a professional content writer is a guarantee of success, followers. No, not at all. I think your content needs to come from you, to be very honest. And of course, if you're running a business, you hire a marketing expert. You don't hire a content writer, because I don't even think captions and words are so important anymore. The most important thing on social media is the visual aspect, and videos way more than photos. The way videos are performing is just unparalleled. So just focus on the content and maybe hire a content expert or a marketing expert who can help you with that. How does my husband cope up with my schedule, moods, work, etc.? So honestly, he's very, very, very supportive. But he also, I mean, today it's my work is as important, right? Today, I think that's something that requires a lot of work in your relationship and as you build together as a couple. But it's important that, like, there are a lot of perks to my job. My income is substantial, so it is a very equal relationship in its sense, you know. So it's, how does he cope with my schedule is, I mean, honestly, he travels a lot and I travel a lot. So what we both try to do is we try to like match our travel dates so we can be together as much as we can. With creating content, it, I think it still gets a little bit frazzling for him sometimes. So I make sure that I don't push the limits, you know. I know when something's on the edge, you know, when your husband is like about to get annoyed with you, like I can read that situation well. So in my head, I'll be like, okay, this is it. No, I don't think you can create more content today. But also, I think I try to be as respectful as I can towards him. There's so much content that I ask him to be in that he's honestly not in because he's not comfortable with it. So I understand that and I respect it. I mean, my content with him performs incredibly well, right? So ideally, I should ask him to like shoot one like TikTok or reel with me like every week. But I don't want to do that because that is crossing the line personally, right? Like, it's very different if it's like if it was lockdown and he was working from home and we created a lot of fun content together and he wasn't even have that much work going on. So, or on a holiday, it's very different. But on a day-to-day basis, that's not what my work is about. I want to create fashion content. I want to inspire your wardrobes. I don't want to really inspire your relationship. I don't mind if that's a part of my content, but I don't want it to become my content. Any other questions, Radha?
Okay, so we have a question. In spite of early mornings and late nights, how do you maintain the glow and radiance always?
I only during events do I have like early mornings and late nights. Honestly, otherwise I have a pretty great sort of sleeping pattern. We sleep by like 11:30. I wake up by 7:45 a.m. every day. So I live a pretty sort of structured life because I genuinely feel like if you're not structured, if you don't have a routine, it's very hard to succeed in other areas of your life. You know, your body, some things your body needs stability with so that you can exceed in other areas. I eat well.
Yeah. Actually, there's a question. What is your take on vegan luxury products?
I think I just saw the new Valentino collection in Cannes, and it's stunning, and they have so many non-leather options. So I definitely think that the industry as a whole is moving towards it, and it's incredible. I can't wait to see the fashion industry do more stuff that's non-leather and vegan.
Thank
And
you.
it's great for the gents as well, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Yes. That's why I took this question also.
Yeah. So you should check out the new Valentino collection. They have some beautiful bags, beautiful bags, and they're all vegan. So a friend of mine recently launched a handbag brand where she makes bags out of cactus leather. So it's of course 100% vegan, but also like cruelty and no animal cruelty, and it's amazing. So I think the industry is slowly and steadily moving towards like cactus leather, pineapple leather, very interesting things.
Great. This is so good. So thank you, Masoom. Being tired and being like after so much travel, and you were so good with us.
No, this gives me energy. Honestly, this gives me energy. It was so nice to speak with all of you. I hope this chat was helpful. It was lovely connecting with you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Masoom. In fact, we all really have learned a lot about influencing, and this coming from you straight away, I think it was a great experience.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So on behalf of FICCI Ladies Organization Jaipur, I extend a heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest, Ms. Masoom Minawala, for this enlightening and empowering session. A special thank you to Ms. Neetaji Bhutra, National Past President FLO, and Founder Chairperson of Jaipur, Indore, and Pune chapters, for always being a pillar of strength. A big thank you to all our past chairpersons for their continued support and guidance. Always grateful to the media persons and our members for their love and support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.